back in New York at the AC, the historic New York Athletic Club. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside David Fink. This broadcast and the tour, the Race for 8, brought to you by Edel Handball, online at edelhandball.com, where they are live now. You can see what they're doing with their merchandise store. As we have another great match here, men's round of 16. All of these are just bonus coverage for you. Referee is going to be Nett Alvarado Jr., who just defeated David Chapman in that round of 16, 25-23, in a nice match for our fans here. But this one is going to be Andy Nett and Armando Ortiz. Nett from Winona, Minnesota, now living actually in Minneapolis. And Armando Ortiz from Norwalk, California, who said earlier today, "Why do you say that? I'm in LA." And I said, "What city do you live in right now?" He goes, "Norwalk, but it just sounds easier if you said Los Angeles." I said, "Well, I don't like to lie like you do." There is a difference between Norwalk and Los Angeles. Don't ask me what the difference is, but there is one.
Andy Nett, Dave, has had some really tough blind draws over the last 3 tournaments. Now, the U.S. Open was an open tournament, but he drew Killian Carroll there, who was unknown, but a really top player. Lost to Killian Carroll. Then he draws Robbie McCarthy in Houston, loses in overtime, and now it's Armando Ortiz. So tough sledding for the big guy, and that's a tough start for the Dream, who was recently engaged. I'd like to congratulate he and lovely Bailey Chandler, soon to be Bailey Nett.
Well, that's a duo that could actually be in the semifinals of the same pro tournament.
Yeah, definitely the best handball playing and looking couple.
There's a lot of bests involved with those two.
Now, Dave, I just want to set the background here. Armando Ortiz arrived on a red eye this morning at 5 a.m. He's already played 2 matches today. I'm not making excuses. I'm just letting our viewers know what Armando's gone through in the last 24 hours. He's been on the plane. He's traveled over 3,000 miles. He's already defeated 2 good players, and now he's playing Andy Nett. Armando Ortiz taking out current WPH World Champion 3-wall ball, Jarrell Bastidas, and then Mike Schneider.
Andy Nett had a quick and easy exit in Houston, where he lost in the round of 16 to Robbie McCarthy. And he wants to avoid back-to-backs here. He's actually in jeopardy of not making the Players' Championship if he doesn't do something at this tournament. Well, I mean, he's going to have a very good Denver if he doesn't do what he needs to do here in this round.
Well, he'll really be behind the 8 ball if he doesn't come through here, because he's 10th on the standings, Dave, with 6 points. And you have to remember, 10th is really 11th, because Paul Brady is not even on that list yet, and we all expect him to qualify.
Point.
Mondo looks really good. Yeah. Dave, now you play the winner of this match. You get to talk about
3, serving 0.
And scope it out just a little bit.
I've played both these guys 7 times, so very familiar, but they're both great players.
4, serving 0.
They've never played in race play. Very slow start for Andy Nett. Armando, a great start, though.
Side is out.
Armando has been training with Emmett Peugeot. It seems like Emmett's everywhere these days, Dave, between tournaments, just preparing himself for these race events. But he spent an entire week down there in Southern California. He and Mondo played every day. They also played in the California Cup, which is a competition between Northern California and Southern California. Emmett defeating Mondo
11-9.
11-9.
Look at that terrible shot right there. That serve into the side wall. It's an automatic fault.
Well, that was a second serve anyway, so if you're going to hit the sidewall first, you might as well do it on your second serve.
Get out of the system now. It probably won't happen twice in one match.
We'll replay that now.
Ooh.
He didn't see the first time.
That's a tough late call right there from Nett Alvarado. But there was a stutter step from Andy Nett. I just think Nett needed to pull the cord a little bit quicker on that call.
Not a good serve. What happened back there, Dave? Thought that ball would come out with a lot of pace on it.
I just don't think Andy is comfortable yet in this
Okay.
court. And these players are all coming off the court saying, oh, okay, so we're playing handball in a foreign country here. Because this court does feel, and it just looks different when you're in it. It almost looks whiter, something, almost like you're at South End Rowing Club. It's got that strange feel to it where the panel on the front wall almost feels like it's just straight boards. Dave, you have been able to throw the ball on this court yesterday. I don't think you've played matches today on it. Do you find it to be different?
No, I like this court, and I'm not just trying to be a contrarian here, but it's got a real nice solid back wall, very good sight. You can see the ball from everywhere on the court really well. And I like how there's a nice gallery downstairs and also upstairs, so it's a great court to watch handball in.
There's a timeout here called on the floor. This is the men's round of 16 bonus coverage. Though the stream might be crystal clear where you're at, we could actually do much better, and we're going to in the next couple days. Verizon Wireless had Verizon Internet service had a huge outage here in the 5800 block of New York City here at 180 South Central Parkway, where the whole block went out of service on Verizon. Now, the big thing is I didn't know Verizon had hardline internet service to begin with. I thought they were just cell towers and that sort of thing, but they're working on it. And when they get that back, we're going to be really clear with our live stream. Right now, we're going off of Wi-Fi.
Second serve.
Here in the club. I mean, it takes 20 minutes just to reload my email here on Wi-Fi, so I don't think the live feed is as clear as it could be, but some people are saying it looks great.
Well, it doesn't look great from Andy Nett's point of view. He's down 8-0, hasn't even come close to scoring yet.
Well, Mondo's just been tearing up people so far in this draw. And look at that little off-pace left corner kill from Mondo, back point center of the court where he serves here.
9 serve 0.
Mondo says he likes serving from the middle because it cuts down how much he has to run to get the next shot. Dave, do you dig that philosophy? Or I see that you'll serve a little bit closer to the left wall, oftentimes going over to the right side. Mondo says if you stand in the middle, that means that you only have, 10 feet this way and 10 feet that way.
Yeah.
10 serve 0.
But it also cuts down your angles. And he's got a good back wall shot. Dave Chapman told me earlier that this floor is so strange that his back wall timing was completely off earlier today. So I think Nett is really at a deficit.
Side is out.
He just hasn't played on this court at all.
0 serves 11.
Well, Dave, in Houston, we saw the qualifiers go a collective 4-4 in the first round, meaning that they won 4 against the Elite 8, and including a finalist in Dermot Nash. Here today, we've already seen Robbie McCarthy qualify and defeat Aaron Garner. Now it looks like we might see another one with Mondo Ortiz defeating Andy Nett.
12.
Mondo should be one of the top 8 invites at these tournaments, but he always seems to just something bad happens. He had a bad flight in Houston, which cost him a chance probably to be in the invited 8 here in New York.
13 serving.
He also entered the U.S. Open playing doubles with Marco Chavez instead of going into the singles, which would have probably helped him at about 3 race stops, but he decided not to play in the singles at the U.S. Open. So he seems to be kind of doing it to himself. Mother Nature gets involved, and he's always that guy that has 1 or 2 of the top seeds in the qualifiers, and then when he does play, he makes it to the finals.
Well, remember, Mondo's only played in 1 race event since 2012. So he took the entire Race for 8-2 season off, didn't play in 1 event, came into the Race for 8-3 season with no ranking, didn't even really know where to put him in the qualifier, goes up against Martin Mulkerns in his first match and just blows him away. And that's Martin coming off a national finals.
Those that are just watching Andy for the first time, you'll see he'll spend most of his time on the floor.
Nice call, Mondo.
He actually
call,
can
you
get
guys.
out there on one knee and keep the rally alive and not really have to stand up.
Serving 13.
0 to 13. And Mondo looks really fit right now.
Yeah, well, you know, Andy's one of those guys, David, when he gets off to a slow start, he doesn't seem to recover all that well. We saw that against, oh, great shot from Mondo.
You skip that? Thank you.
But you saw that against Killian Carroll. He lost 21-4, 21-2, and you say to yourself, how can that happen? I mean, Andy Nett's got so much firepower. You just don't see that happening. But he looks real flat in here right now, David. And a lot of Andy's game is based on his serve. He hasn't got his serve going at all.
Well, you saw Andy get his first point, and that was
Side is
because
out.
Mondo said the ball skipped.
13 serving
Nobody,
1.
including Andy, saw that. And the referee. Nobody saw that except for Mondo.
Point.
That was 2 skip calls in a row for Mondo on himself.
14 serving 1.
This is halftime point.
Yeah. Dave, this match is only 4.5 minutes old,
Side out.
and we're almost at halftime. We were an inch from being at halftime before the 5-minute mark.
Well,
1 serving 14.
Mondo's trying to keep us on schedule.
What is the schedule that you're always talking about, Dave?
The
I
broadcast
don't
schedule.
understand that.
Broadcast schedule.
Well, sports and handball is not a timed sport. You never know how long matches are going to take. That's the kind of the beauty of it. It's like baseball.
Well.
A 9-inning game can take an hour and 50 minutes, or it can take 4.5 hours.
I understand, but
I don't know if
have
you do.
I have an
I-
affliction when it comes
Okay,
to time. I
yeah.
don't know if you know.
2.
Well, I'm trying to
serves
explain to you
14.
that
I was going to call it
time
an
isn't even.
illness.
It's
I'm
not
not
even
sh-
an issue, though.
Okay, but
It's
it is
just-
with me. I have issues with time. I mean, personally, a time issue.
Okay.
Call it a disease, whatever you want to call it. But things have to stay on schedule for me.
2. Thank you. Side
And when
is
they
out.
don't, I start bringing them up.
Yeah, I know about that. Have you thought about pills or therapy
no,
or
I
a
don't-
combination?
I don't
of-
believe in that sort of
No,
thing.
you
I'm
don't.
with Tom Cruise on that.
Okay. But he at least does something. I mean, he's at Scientology church. I mean,
Side is out.
he's doing something for his problems.
Well, this
I just
is-
don't see you doing
Handball
anything.
is my church.
Really?
Yep.
I see it contributing to your problems, not solving them.
14 serving 2.
This is not a good
Oops,
sign
that's
here
that.
for
I got
Andy.
it. 2
Lob
serving
serving. I
14.
don't think I've ever seen this from him.
I have not either, and that's not his best serve by far.
Point.
Well, he gets a point, though.
3 to 14 is the score here. And as
3
quickly as
serves
we thought
14.
we were going to go into halftime, it went the other direction.
Oh, that's a good shot from Mondo.
Mondo closes that one off and hits a beautiful back wall 2-inch
14
kill shot
serving
now.
3.
Half point once again for Mondo serving to go into halftime. And I think he's going to get it right here. Andy back on the floor. Mondo paddle kill, got
Halftime.
that from Big Ball. And we're at halftime. We'll have a 3-minute break. Mondo up at 15 to 3. The USHA will be celebrating its 20th year in the Handball Hall of Fame building, which you and I have been to in Tucson, Arizona, with the 20th annual Hall of Fame tournament, April 4th through the 6th. It's a great opportunity, Dave, to take in the beautiful Tucson spring weather, and it always is great there. Check out the Handball Hall of Fame and play some handball with the aspiring youngsters taking up the perfect game in Tucson. Find out more, ushandball.org. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Stick around here at racefor8.com.
The AFC offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
So, same time next week? Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
That was the fastest 3 minutes in handball
Side is
history
out.
right there. Side out. Mondo Ortiz up 15-3. Andy Nett now serving. Andy, very slow start here. Trying to avoid the
We have 3.
first round
serving
upset
15.
for the second straight tournament.
Side is out.
Mondo just looks really good right now. Back wall, revolving door, flat kill.
15 serves 3.
If you're going to start awarding different shots to different players, that ball was short. By far
We do.
short.
You may appeal and both disagree. Replay.
And it
Sorry,
is going to
not
be
replay, one
replayed.
serve to come.
But if you were going to say who has the best revolving door in the game, you would probably throw Mondo Ortiz up there toward the top of the list. I mean, of course, we're talking about hypothetical boats here.
Side is out.
Nadi Alvarado used to be on that
3,
list,
serving
probably
15.
still is, but Mondo certainly almost seems like he wants it to go around the revolving door. Look at that flat rollout off the back wall.
Well, Andy Nett almost hits the back wall on a fly. That serve was so far past his target.
Fifteen serves 3.
There's that revolving door.
Andy's just putting the ball in a tee now for Mondo, and that's a beautiful corner kill.
Maybe
Side
that'll
out.
help Andy get back into the groove here now, side out.
Let's not forget, Dave, Andy
I have
Nett
3 serving
advanced to
15.
10 consecutive race quarterfinals.
Short.
Until Houston.
Actually,
I
until the
believe.
U.S. Open, where he lost to Killian
Second
Carroll
serve.
and then Houston again. So he's in danger of losing his third straight round of 16 match. And round of 16 losses will not get you to Salt Lake City, Dave.
Side out.
Well, for some reason in season 1, that helped Tommy Little.
Well, he didn't make it to Seattle, though.
No, but he certainly went to a lot of stops
15,
losing in that
serves
opening
3.
round.
Well, Tommy Little 0-10 in race play. Oh, beautiful shot from Mondo. Oh,
Andy's
great get there
able
from
to
Andy.
get it back to the front wall.
Oh,
Mondo just has such a good, flat,
Point.
easy stroke. And his target is perfect.
16 serves 3.
He said he's really loving it at the LAAC right now because Nadi Alvarado's playing him down there, and he's also getting good games off Marcos
Side out.
Chavez. And he said Vince Munoz came back, so he said we're playing a
3,
lot of ball right
serving
now.
16.
if Dave,
Point.
and that's a bad error from Mondo, if Andy Nett fails to qualify for Salt Lake City, which is
4 serving
looking
16.
likely at this point, there will be only 4 players that have appeared in all
Point.
3 Players' Championships should the rankings hold up as they do right now. Can you name them?
I have
This is
5
not
serving
in your
16.
stat book, Dave,
Okay.
so you can't cheat
Well,
on
as
this one.
as with every question you've ever asked
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
since
you
we've
don't
known each
understand the
other,
question,
I
yeah.
don't understand
Right.
it.
So the
I'm looking for a
number
loophole.
1
basically.
deflection.
No, I was taught this in law school.
Okay. Yeah.
You look for the
6 serving
loopholes.
16.
Don't listen to the question.
Okay.
So I'm looking for
Yeah.
the loophole. Go ahead and
Okay.
ask me one more time.
Okay.
I listened slowly the first time to try to
If
catch
Andy
anything.
Nett fails to qualify for Salt Lake City,
Okay.
there will be only 4 players in Salt Lake City that will have played in all 3 Players' Championships. Can you name them?
Yes, I can.
Okay. This will be fun. You have 15 seconds, by the way.
But by the way, it's
14.
by the way, this is hypothetical because
Yeah.
we don't know who
No,
is going to
as
qualify.
projected right now in
Oh,
the
as
standings.
per you didn't.
Yeah.
That's the loophole.
Okay. So therefore, you don't have to answer?
I really don't. If I get it wrong,
Side
it's
out.
because of that.
Okay. All right.
Hold on. Here.
16, serving 7.
16 to 7.
Andy Nett making a nice run here. Oh, it's a good shot from Mondo.
I like that. Once again, what's the question? One more time.
No, I'm not going to
No,
repeat it
just
again.
one more time.
I'm not, because even Chris, our producer, doesn't want to hear it again.
Okay. Something about 4 players that have never been there.
Name the
17,
4 players,
serving 7.
if the standing stays there now,
Okay.
that will have played in all 3 players' championships.
Okay, 4 that have played. That would be
Time's out.
playing
Yes.
in 3.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've only played 2.
Right.
It's another loophole.
7, serving 17.
Luis Moreno. David Fink. Sean Linney.
Point.
Nadi Alvarado.
That's correct. Congratulations.
Thank you. What do I get?
An opportunity to take me to dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
8, serving
pay for it.
17.
Hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Wish I would have looked for another loophole.
Andy's starting to play some great ball here now, David. Is it too late for Andy Nett? Or can Andy do what
9,
Mondo did to
serving
him in the first
17.
half?
Yeah, well, he could do it, and that's
Yeah.
why we saw this as one of those great matchups on paper.
Short
And
serve.
Andy's starting to get hot here with that serve.
Second serve.
Doesn't seem like this is going to be a good serve from Andy, but just
Side
not
out.
something I think he feels comfortable with. You saw him, it looked like he was going to do an underhand
17, serving 9.
lob serve, and then he changed at the last moment. Just wasn't comfortable at all. And one of the best serves in the game right there, Mondo Ortiz hits that left crack.
You don't talk about Mondo as having one of the best serves in the game, but he really does.
18,
He
serving
hits the ball
9.
so low. And even when you have your hand on it, the ball is just so low, it doesn't come up. There's not much you can do with it.
Score here is 18 to 9.
Second serve.
Andy has outscored Armando 9-3 in the last 12 points scored. So that's encouraging for Andy Nett fans. Oh, what a get from Mondo.
Somehow Mondo is able to get that and almost gets that second one.
But you see the discipline there from Andy, who wasn't flustered by Mondo's great retrieve, and he hit the ball even
9,
lower in the
serving
right
18.
corner. Andy Nett, Dave, spars a lot with Matt Heiber, who keeps
Side
himself in amazing condition, even in his 40s, and it's a great guy to have as your sparring partner.
18, serving 9.
Probably, one of the reasons why Matt Heiber is so good. Gets to play Andy Nett.
Side out. 9, serving 18. Replay.
Andy Nett, Dave, lives in Winona, Minnesota, or excuse me, was born in Winona, now lives in Minneapolis.
Replay 9-18.
His coach, Dave, John Nett, who's his father, says that his greatest ever win was winning the World Championship doubles with his good buddy Luis Moreno. They took out Paul Brady and Michael Finnegan in a thrilling final there. Andy Nett probably playing the best handball of his life in that match.
That was Luis Moreno's
Side is out.
17th round of handball.
Yeah.
Can you tell Andy?
Andy Nett has been playing, Dave, since he was 8 years old. He'll be 34 this August. Works as a teacher in Minneapolis, as does his
Okay.
lovely fiance.
Coming in 18, serving 9.
We asked Andy why do you play handball? And he said you can just play it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. I don't think a lot of people think about this, but
19, serving 9.
you can play pro football or college football or
Call that short.
as a kid or in high school or whatever, but you're not going to play it when you're 90.
No.
And Andy Nett says, you know, I just like the fact that I can play this thing that I love for a long period of time. And trust me, when you talk about football, Andy Nett was a great quarterback for Winona State.
One of the top Division II quarterbacks in the country.
He was also an amazing basketball player. He's a really good athlete. He's played everything. He said he just loves handball.
What's cool about Andy, Dave, is you ask him who he'd like to play most. He says, anybody that's ranked ahead of me. So he loves that challenge.
19-9. I have 19. Replay, 19-9.
His greatest ever singles win, Dave, was against Charlie Shanks, and I know that most people didn't see that match because it was on a backcourt in the playoffs, but it was incredible handball. I couldn't believe how well those two giants were playing. Andy Nett defeated Charlie for 5th place, 25-22, in the race for 8-2, stop number 2 in Tucson.
Side out.
Mondo tries to go for that Dave Chapman paddle re-kill, and just, I think Mondo doesn't know what to do if he's not hitting the ball 100 miles an hour.
Short serve.
And just missing that crack serve.
Armando already this season, Dave, has wins against Nadia Alvarado, myself, and Emmett Peixote. So 3 wins in the top 8 already this season in just 1 start. This could be his 4th. And it's not easy to get top 8 wins, Dave, as you know.
Well, I've never gotten one, so I do know.
Yeah. Well, so you do know then.
10, serving 19.
10-19. You've seen a nice little run here from Andy Nett. And there's a crack serve. This is about the time where Andy's starting to figure out the courts, get his legs underneath himself, feel a little bit more confident.
Side is out.
And at the same time, Mondo is starting to feel the weather of playing 2 matches earlier today.
And the flight.
And that red eye.
I mean, Mondo did know about this event months in advance. I'm surprised he didn't book himself a flight at a reasonable hour. But, you know, Mondo works hard. He works in construction, Dave, which actually he says helps his handball game because that's physical labor all day long.
Well, he looks like he lost about 20 pounds since the last time I saw him. He looks really good, and there's a beautiful kill shot there from Andy Nett.
Well, that was just perfect form from Andy. I don't know why we haven't seen more swings like that throughout this match.
For those watching at home wondering why the broadcast schedule is all messed up or what time zone we're in, we supposed to start the men's round of 16 at Glacius and Sean Linning at 6:30, and here we are at about 7:20 in New York and Eastern time zone. That's because Nadia Alvarado and Dave Chapman pulled off a marathon 25-point match as expected. Though this one started off fairly quick, we're still an hour behind.
I think most people realize that it's hard to put a time limit on a sport like handball. These things happen.
I just don't understand it. Never will. Maybe pills are the answer.
Seriously, look into them, please, for all of us. More so for us than you. And that's it. Excuse me, Dave. That's called a that's a preemie.
Game point, serving 10.
And now we are 24 to 10.
And Dave, if Andy loses this match, the most points he can pick up in this tournament would be 2, and that's if he wins the 9th place playoffs, which is no easy feat. But that would leave Andy at 8 points, which would mean he would need at least a 3rd place finish in Denver to qualify for his 3rd straight Players' Championship. He's never before made it to the semifinals. So he'll have a lot of pressure
Replay 10.
and not a lot of confidence going in. If he doesn't win 9th place, Dave, he'll need to make the finals there.
And there's going to be another game point serve for Mondo Ortiz. Coming up after this one, you're going to watch Sean Linning and John Iglesias
24, serving 10.
in their round of 16.
That should be a good one, Dave.
Yeah, I'm expecting 20s from both.
Yeah.
You just never know, though.
No.
This could be a different Sean that shows up. Could be the same Sean.
Well, you know, Sean's dad is here, and historically, Sean has played well with Larry there in the crowd.
I did not see Larry.
Yeah.
Replay 24-10.
He was actually on your flight.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he sat in the row in front of you.
Oh. I was too busy looking at my watch. Pilot wasn't keeping to this schedule, and you knew I was having a problem
10,
with
I
that.
do.
24.
Well, you follow that flight tracker, and if you're not
I
right
do,
where
actually.
you're supposed to be.
I do. I wish they wouldn't turn screens every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Side out.
And that's a tricky shot there for Andy, because if you jump, you almost have no chance to return, but it's the kind of shot that's just going to die right in that back corner.
Serves 10.
I believe we'll see the end of this match right here.
That's the third attempt now for Mondo.
Second serve.
That's a strange serve.
I like it, though.
Well,
And
it
he gets the
works.
final point, defeating Andy Nett. And now we have 2 qualifiers going into the top 16 here and defeating a named 8 already here. And then we have one more of these qualifiers here stepping onto the court. So we're going to have another match coming up right around the corner as John Iglesias goes up against Sean Linning. Mondo Ortiz just defeats Andy Nett by the score of 25-10. We're at the New York Athletic Club in beautiful New York City, right actually in Manhattan, as we look over Central Park. Absolutely beautiful weather out there, as long as you don't step into it. Just don't go outside and see what's going on with what's happening at Central Park. In fact, let's take a look right now. Here we are. Dave, as you take a look at this beautiful Central Park. The weather's been awesome. Really enjoying New York City and this historic New York Athletic Club. Went to Rockefeller Plaza, did a little ice skating. Went to Times Square, checked out the Statue of Liberty, Brooklyn Bridge. This is Central Park, our review of the New York Athletic Club from afar, as we give you that feed so you can see what's going on here in this wonderful city. We're going to have more handball action coming up right around the corner as we get ready for Sean Linning and John Iglesias. We appreciate the fact that you've tuned in and are watching this bonus coverage, men's round of 16, for Dave Fink, Linda Manning, as well as Chris Grab. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Stay here, racefreight.com.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.